Hey girl, are your healthy habits all over the place or non-existent? Do you wish you could find true food freedom, move your body for joy, and really just talk a little nicer to yourself? If you have tried to habit hack your health, but the strategies you've tried just haven't worked for you in your busy lifestyle, then this podcast is for you. Hey, I'm Emily Nichols, habit and fitness coach, behavior change specialist, and Taco Tuesday enthusiast. Hey, I am here to tell you there is an easier way than what we've been taught about our health and our habits. How do I know? Well, because I've transformed my own life through habit hacking, and now my family gets the best of me, and I now help my clients do the same. I'm now going to teach you how to create healthy habits in less time, guilt-free for all seasons of your life. It's not your fault your habits haven't worked, my friend. We just have to do them differently. So, are you ready to feel empowered and transform your habits and life? Then let's do this. You're listening to episode 207 of Self-Transformed. Hey friend, welcome back to the show. I'm so glad you're here. If this is your first time here, hello. I am so happy you are here. I know I personally love starting my Monday mornings. I usually get up and get my own workout in. I usually listen to a podcast or music, and then I go coach Monday mid-morning at Orange Theory, and I always listen to my favorite podcast Monday morning. So I don't know about you, but I love that habit that I have where these new episodes come out on Monday of my favorite shows. And I wanted to thank you if I'm one of your favorite shows that you listen to every Monday morning or every Thursday morning for our habit hack. But if this is your first time here, hi, I'm Emily. I'm a habit and fitness coach, and I am obsessed with helping busy working moms in particular habit hack their health in less time and guilt free. Because I feel like this, okay? We all know, like, all right, I should move my body. All right, I need to eat like foods to fuel my body. Okay, and I need to talk nicer to myself. But how the heck do we do that when we don't have a lot of time, capacity, energy, all the things? So we get super creative and we habit hack this together. Like I said, I'm a habit coach. I have a certification as a behavior change specialist, and this really came from being a group fitness instructor since the end of 2015, 2016, right? I had my own transformation journey. I started teaching group fitness, which lights up my soul like no other. But I was noticing everyone just had a really hard time with accountability, consistency. And as I was digging deep into my own personal development, learning more about habit strategy, that is where the whole Self-Transformed brand came about to help you transform your life through your habits. Okay. So like I said, I started out as a group fitness instructor, and I currently coach at Orange Theory. I do a lot of virtual fitness. I have, especially in 2020. I've taught at Cycle Bar. I've taught insanity classes. I help and volunteer at my church teaching boot camp. But a year ago, I found HOTWORX. So HOTWORX is a 24/7 studio where you can come in. There's these little mini sauna rooms. I like to set mine at 125 degrees. Yes. And you work out in the heat. So think hot yoga, hot isometric movements. There's infrared technology as well from the sauna, which is just a game changer. And there's even 15-minute HIIT sessions. So I get my cycle fix, my spin fix in a hot sauna room for 15 minutes. Like, y'all, the calorie torch is like no other, but the detox and the clarity and just the slow isometric movements and watching myself progress over time. Really, from that first session, I was like, I have to become a virtual instructor here. I've even started going through my own yoga teacher training this past year as well. Okay. So as you may know, I am in the top 40 to become a HOTWORX virtual instructor. And thank you so much. The whole month of June, you can cast your vote for me. You can go to bit.ly/HOTWORX Emily, and that's HOTWORX with an X at the end. So HOTWORX Emily, EMILY, and cast your vote for me to get to the top 15. At the end of July, I'll be able to fly to Texas and audition in person and hopefully get one of the 7 spots to become a virtual instructor. I love teaching group fitness so much and the impact it can make on people. And I love this community so much because during this month of voting, what's really cool is there is a veterans organization that we are raising money for as well called Sacred Mountain Retreat. So it's $1 a vote. So you can just vote for me, just cast your vote, donate $1. If you want to donate $5, that's 5 votes for me. Regardless, we're helping this wonderful organization during this period to help military and first responders and their families come to a retreat center for respite and healing, which I love so much. So like I said, I found HOTWORX about a year ago at a time where I actually broke my tailbone and I needed some restoration. I needed slower movement. It's really funny, like seeing time hop now and like what I could not do at that time and how far I have come. Like, y'all, I literally broke my butt and you don't realize how much you do with it until you break it. And it just totally changed my life. And I'm such a big believer in functional fitness. That is my specialty. I don't believe in just doing HIIT workouts all the time or just doing yoga or just doing running. I believe in doing it all in order to thrive and train for life, my friends. And one of the first instructors that I had in HOTWORX was this purple-haired girl named Ashlee Buchert. I loved her energy on the screen as a HOTWORX instructor. I loved her teaching style and how she could relate to me through the screen, right? She can't see me, but I can see her. And this is very important as an online or virtual fitness instructor, right? You have to anticipate who is in front of you. And once I started to follow Ashlee on social media, I realized she and I share a lot of the same beliefs around self-care. She's a boy mom just like me, and even some similar backgrounds too. I too have taught Insanity. I taught a cycle bar. She set foot inside of my home studio, HOTWORX Mass Ave, and learned about HOTWORX before she became a virtual instructor while she was in town here in Indy, which I thought was just so cool. And when I got to know her and learned about how small moments in her life, small decisions led down a path she could never have dreamed of, I thought you would appreciate this message and her story as well. We can all relate to this story. You don't have to be a group fitness instructor like Ashlee and I are. Everyone can relate to this. Let me tell you a little bit about Ashlee. Ashlee Buchert is a wife, mom of 2 little boys, fitness pro with over 17 years of experience, an entrepreneur, a HOTWORX virtual instructor, master trainer, and self-titled self-care extraordinaire. Yes, girl, I love that. She hopes to inspire other moms and women like herself to dream big, live a life by design, and prioritize one's health and happiness above all else, because without that, it's hard to be your best for others. Amen to that. Okay. So she is a powerhouse. You're going to love this conversation. It's an inspiring story of being open to opportunities, listening to your gut, and following the breadcrumbs along the way to really see that not only how you can have such a big impact on your own life, but maybe you can impact others along the way as well. So as always, make sure to stick around to the end of this conversation. I always share my 3 biggest takeaways, the cliff notes, if you will, that you can habit hack and take into action in your own life. Okay. So, and again, thank you so much. I'll have a link in the show notes where you can vote for me throughout this month of June to get me to the next round to become a HOTWORX virtual instructor. I would so appreciate your vote, and I would so appreciate you supporting this amazing organization as well. Okay, let's get into our conversation with Ashlee. All right, gang, welcome back to Self-Transformed. I am so excited to chat with Ashlee Buchert today. Ashlee, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited.
Same. Okay. All right, Ash, the first question I ask everyone that comes on the show is, what comes to mind when you hear the phrase self-transformed?
I feel like self-transformed is taking ownership of all aspects of your life and deciding how you're going to let those transform you into the person that you want to be, maybe present or future, hopefully both. But yes, just using all the things that you've been dealt, all the cards you've been dealt, all the hardships, all the glory, everything. And then just deciding how that will transform you and your story for your future.
Yeah, totally. Taking ownership of that. I think sometimes we're so quick to maybe pass blame or like be a victim mentality. And when it's like, okay, I'm just going to take ownership of this. Let's see what happens. that's where the transformation happens.
Bingo. Yes.
Love it. Love it. Okay. Well, let's talk about maybe your own transformation story, kind of the cliff notes. I know that sometimes it can be a long story, right, for all of us, but what is your own transformation story? Kind of think of, Ashlee, what has led you to really what you do today, and most importantly, who you are today?
Gosh, yeah. And this is a great question and topic too, for me personally, because I think people see me as the Ashlee I am now is the Ashlee I've always been. They assume I came out of my mother's womb kicking and doing kickboxing and step aerobics or whatever they used to take from me and all the things and the teachings. But honestly, I came out just like everybody else. I found my love for fitness when I was just cheerleading in school. And I remember I gained some weight during, I think it was my sophomore year, and I just was like starting to get really down on myself. And so I started running outside of that. I played sports, all kinds of sports, and just was probably settling into some sort of an identity of fitness makes me happy. Fitness helps me like feel good in my body. My mom was also one of those Kathy Smith, like in the living room, women like doing all the things. I mean, a lot of us know Denise Austin, maybe from my era, but Kathy Smith, I remember watching my mom do that. And so she doesn't probably know this, but she imprinted on me super young. But I just remember every single time I started kind of feeling like I was losing myself in any way, I would always go back to exercise. Exercise always brought me a sense of satisfaction, joy, happiness. And it became my healthy scapegoat. So when I went to college, I gained the freshman 12. I like to say 12, not 15, but it looked like 20 on this frame. Okay. So then again, I had a little bit of a weight gain story. And that's what got me into group fitness. That's what got me into what I do today as a profession. I was the girl in the back of the class, scared to death, didn't really take a lot of classes in high school. So I was new to it, but the girl in the front of the room inspired me. She made me feel a part of something bigger than myself, community. And I just knew I needed to do something like her. And so that really led to my decision to become a group fitness instructor, because the way I felt, how she made me feel, was the way I wanted others to feel. And so that literally set me on the trajectory at 19 years old into this group fitness scene that I'm now in now. And I'm 38, proud 38-year-old with two babies, or not, they're not babies anymore. They're my babies, but two boys. And my transformation has been even through pregnancies, gaining the weight, losing the weight, and always just going back to like how that moment made me feel, and knowing that now I had an extra level of accountability because I was an instructor. So I would say while I was pregnant, that also helped me, because it held me to a higher degree of accountability when I wanted to lose that baby weight and get back to what I love to do. So I've just kind of figured out a way, even though I've gained weight, lost weight, gained weight, lost weight, to always just go back to that feeling and lead with that feeling of how great it just encompassed my life in that way, that I was like, how could I not want to get back to this exercise, So that's in a nutshell. There's probably way more unpacking to do.
I love how you said it's really when you kind of felt like you lost yourself, like exercise was a way to like ground you. I so relate to that, because I feel like that too. But my story didn't happen till like 2015, when I was in the thick of just having babies, and I found movement because I was like, I need to go do something for myself. And it's turned into like a unconscious habit for me. I don't even have to think about, I will do some type of movement every single day, but it's just part of me now.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But I know it doesn't come that easy.
Right. I was actually speaking about that. I had a cycle bar class the other day, and I was like, intrinsic is the word, intrinsic motivation. Once we establish these habits and we keep going after that feeling, and we keep showing up and we keep showing up and we flex that discipline muscle, it's like it becomes intrinsic in us, to where the question now is, well, what would my life be without it? I'm not going down that path. This is too good. So we don't question like, what's that workout going to feel like? It's like, what's that workout going to feel like if I don't do it? Or what's that life going to feel like if I don't do it? So yeah, intrinsic is the word I like to use with that too, because I totally understand what you're saying there. It just becomes habit.
Well, and I like to think, my boys are watching, like they know, they're like, hey, have you gone like for a walk today? Or did you like work out? Like I show up more patient, more present, more fully really me when I have some type of form of movement. And I really see movement, in my personal opinion, is like the most comprehensive form of self-care, because it's not just the physical, like it's emotional, it's mental. I hear Jesus like sometimes when I'm on my Peloton, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do you help folks, dig deep into that feeling where, man, movement is a form of self-care, and help them see that either just through what you're talking about on social media or in an actual group fitness class as well?
Well, I try to live by example first and foremost. And I always say, live your life out loud. So when I'm showcasing something on Instagram or on social media, I want them to see, like, okay, here's what I'm dealing with. Like, yesterday was a hard day for me. And I'm just going to be bluntly honest on social media and share, like, my body hurts. I'm feeling lethargic, this and that. And then I show them that's the before. Then I show them the after. Now I've taught a yoga class. And sometimes it's not me teaching. Sometimes it's I go take. And then I come back and it's like, I don't have to prove anything at that point. You can see it just in the way I'm talking. You can see it on my face. Like, life is better now. And I try to just showcase living my life out loud so people can actually see the before and after, because a lot of people before and after is transformation, physical, just physical pictures and that. And I'm like, there's so much more to that. The way I'm communicating is completely different. My mindset is completely different. You can almost sense, peace, after I'm done with that, when I'm talking to the camera and it's you on the other side of the camera. So I just think by walking the walk, people just automatically see that people that work out, that people that move their bodies, they're just happier. I mean, and there's science behind that too. I'm not all into all of it, but we can talk about the endorphins that you get, the cortisol levels change, like all those things. It is science that when you're moving your body, you are stirring stuff up. And sometimes that stuff gets released in the workout, and sometimes it's happiness, but you are really just like working through things with your exercise. And it can be any type of movement. Like you said, it doesn't have to be grueling and tuck jump burpees and, even the HOTWORX saunas. Like, it could be whatever you need it to be. Go for a walk, like you said, and just move your body, and you're going to feel better after.
Gosh, all of those happy hormones, it's almost like your body starts to crave them the more you do it, right? And it's such an energy exchange, I feel like, when you take a group fitness class, either in person or virtually, like in HOTWORX, right? You can feel someone's energy, and you can actually, I feel like sometimes I absorb that from a group fitness instructor, or I'm trying to give my energy to folks when I see, I teach a lot of 5 a.m. classes. Folks get there like at 4:45 and we're like, oh, we're dragging. By the end of the hour, they're like, okay, I'm ready. I'm gonna, go conquer the day. And that's such a great feeling. But I feel like a lot of times we're holding ourselves back in our own fitness journey because of a lot of different obstacles or maybe self-limiting beliefs we tell ourselves about fitness, or that we don't have time, or like you said, it has to be hard or grueling, or, I'm too shy to go to a group fitness class. So what would you tell someone that's listening that maybe has to overcome some of those self-limiting beliefs that's really holding them back in their own fitness journey?
I would say take a chance on you, put yourself out there. I know that's hard for some people. Like, they say the hardest thing when people are going to a gym is walking through the front door, but take baby steps. Like, you may have to sit out in your car for 10 minutes before you go through that front door and listen to a podcast. I'm not joking. Listen to a song that will just bring your vibrations up, because then you're like, all right. And then just walk to the beat of that song. When you're going in, you're scared to death, but you open the door and you realize that person on the other side has a smile on their face, is excited to see you. So then you're like, okay, that barrier has just been taken down. So now I've gone past the front door, and maybe that's where you stop that day and you just have a conversation, you leave and come back the next day. But I just say, like, breadcrumbs, just little baby steps at a little bit at a time, because the only way that you know that those are limiting beliefs or they aren't true is by literally stepping into those fears that you have. So walking through the front door, and then you're like, oh, that was a misconception. These people are actually really nice. And then walking into that group fitness studio or that sauna or whatever you're doing. And then you realize, oh, these people aren't just staring at me. They're actually just like trying to get a good workout. We tell ourselves all these things that keep us from experiencing life. And, really the only thing is, it's just like you would treat your kids. You got to push them a little bit. How if you're a mom that's watching this later, or a parent, How do you do that with your children when they have fears? What do you tell them? You need to turn that back on yourself, right? And okay, if I'm telling my kids to face your fears and to step into that, lean into that, you don't have to step, just lean a little bit, then that's what you need to do too. So just baby steps so that you can go, oh, that wasn't so bad. And that's, again, I teach at Cycle Bar a lot. And that's when I get to really use moments like what we're talking about today, like concepts. I use concepts, teachable concepts, so people can grab onto it. And those are the exact things I talk about. I'm like, listen, turn in that knob right now to the right, and really feeling that, like that lactic acid and that almost poison feeling, like that makes you want to stop. That hurts a little bit. But the more you do that, the easier it's going to get. And then the stronger you're going to become. And then, oh my gosh, you just proved to yourself that you are stronger than you ever realized. So take the step through the front door, take the step into your first workout, prove to yourself by taking action against your fears.
Okay, friends, let's be real here for a second, okay? There are so many energy drinks out there that are only focused on giving you the jitters before a workout. And I don't know about you, but I hate that feeling. Well, not Fit Aid Energy. Fit Aid is boosted with 200 milligrams of clean caffeine from green tea, never the synthetic kind, so you never get that jittery feeling. And plus, it's only 15 calories per can. What I love is that they're not claiming that their energy drink will help you to burn fat or make empty promises. You put in the hard work and Fit Aid will help energize and refuel so you can do it again tomorrow. And unlike many other energy drinks, Fit Aid Energy maximizes your athletic performance by focusing on both training and recovery, which I am all for as a trainer myself. So go grab one of the amazing Fit Aid Energy flavors and you can save 40% off plus free shipping on your first order of 24 cans of Fit Aid Energy. Just go to drinkfitaid.com/habit hack. All right, friends, let's get back to the show. Like so simple, right? And I've seen folks do that in classes that I've taught. I've seen them out in the lobby like a couple of different times. And eventually we get them inside the studio to take a class. And it's such a metaphor for life. You know, we were doing a class this week. We had a benchmark where we called it Mount Everest. They had to climb all the way up on the incline and all the way back down, trying to hold on to a certain pace. And I told them, you know, you're going to get to a certain point of this mountain where you're not going to be able to hold on to that same pace. We're going to just dial it down and back a little bit. And then guess what? We're going to go back downhill. And then we dial it back up on our mile per hour and really just see that, hey, I'm climbing this mountain in class, but heck, I have climbed so much bigger hills and mountains in real life. And I feel like fitness is such a metaphor for life. And it just spills over into your real life where like, I can do hard things. And it's almost like, what else can I do? Like, what else can I freaking do now?
Yeah. You start to feel that belief. Like it's just taking those tiny steps forward. You know, like I said, I didn't become an instructor just by jumping out of my mama's belly and deciding. Well, I guess I did kind of decide one day, but that's all it took. Like, back to just the foundation, a decision at one point. You know, a belief in myself enough, or a belief in the matter, which the matter was the feeling I needed because it made me feel so good how she treated me. I wanted to do that for others. I felt like a cheerleader again. I felt like a piece of me was coming back. So it's like just taking that first step, you know, and just going after it, asking questions. How do I do what you do? I didn't have the credentials to become an instructor. I just stepped into it and learned the credentials.
Yeah. So I feel like you have that gut feeling sometimes, right? I got into group fitness. I was taking spin classes. And I'm embarrassed to say how many late fees I probably had at the time because I was like snoozing, not getting up. This is the beginning of my journey. But I remember every time I went to a class, like in the back of my head, I kept thinking, I could do this, or I would try it this way, or I love the way this person made me feel. How can I do that as well? And I feel like sometimes we have this little inner voice in the back of our head presenting opportunities to us. And sometimes we just don't listen to that. And I know you were led to HOTWORX. I think I heard you say like you weren't looking for something like HOTWORX. It just found you. And
found me.
Yeah, yeah. So I want to talk a little bit about, sometimes transformation knocks on our door and we don't even realize it, and opportunities present themselves.
Yes.
And like you said, like you weren't anticipating becoming a fitness instructor years ago, neither was I, but here we are. This is what we were meant to do. How did that journey happen for you into HOTWORX, where like now you're like, oh, I'm bleeding orange and red and on fire for life. Like, let's
Yeah,
go.
I think purple and orange look good together.
Yes.
So like the breadcrumbs or like the little opportunities that you get through life that lead you to where you are now. I truly believe in divine intervention, and that all of that is serving a purpose for your future, even this conversation right now. So whenever, I became an instructor, I just knew I wanted to teach. So what did I do? Got as many certifications as I could. Well, then I was teaching a specific class that my master trainer trained me in. And she's like, you're so good at this specific class. I think you should be a trainer of trainers. So then I said, okay, fine. How do I do that? Figured it out, researched it, auditioned, made it. So then I was a master trainer certifying instructors for 8 years for a different company. Because I was at a convention for the company I was with before HOTWORX, at a convention, and I decided to go out on our break, or actually I probably played hooky, to be honest, but I decided to take a little break. I went scootering through the city, and guess what? I see HOTWORX downtown Indianapolis. And I'm like, what the heck is HOTWORX? Is it like Asian food? Let's go check this out. My best friend was with me. So we went in and got the tour. And the manager's like, well, this is what we do. And this could totally be you if this is what you do for a living. And I was like, that could be. So he just planted a seed. And I was there for another company. I was there to learn and grow with another company. And this was 6 months before, guys, that company would close their doors and I wouldn't know it. Yeah. So 6 months after that, that company I was with said, hey, we're closing down shop for master trainer. Sorry. So that identity and everything else I'd worked for 8 to 10 years, boom, overnight. But guess what? I had already turned in my application for HOTWORX because that manager had said you could do this. And then I'd forgotten that I turned in that application. 2 months later, after this door closed, 2 months later, May of 2020, right during shutdown, actually, for COVID, I get an email, you're top 40. And I'm like, what's top 40? Now I got to figure out what that means. Cause I just knew that like I could do that. And I really liked the concept of HOTWORX when I was in there. And I was just like, why not me? I've developed that mentality of why not me? And then also with that, I can learn as I go. Like I'm one of those that's like, if I see something and want it, I'm just going to just put my name in the hat and then I'll learn as I go. And because of that, I take chances a lot. And I think because of that, opportunities do present themselves a lot more. And I'm aware of them, which is what you were just saying too. But that is in a nutshell how I discovered HOTWORX and how one little decision in fitness just kind of put me here, put me here, put me here, put me here. And then one door closes, literally another door opens. 3 years later, here I am, just finished my 3rd season with HOTWORX as a virtual instructor.
That's so awesome. I love it how the story just is intertwined so beautifully, and you could have never predicted it or written it, and how it's just changed your life. How has HOTWORX changed your life, Ashlee?
Oh my gosh. So, when you do something because you love it and you're doing it for you first, and then you realize, oh, I'm going to touch other people and meet other people where they are, and then hopefully be a little sliver of their transformation. Well, HOTWORX is like, poof, like blew it out of the water. The amount of love and support through DMs on Instagram, the number of locations I've been able to visit just in this last year. Like I just got a note from corporate. I just finished the amount of in 5 months right now in 2023. I just did that in 5 months that I did the whole year last year. So that just shows like how much I'm traveling and getting to meet these members and hug necks and hear stories. It is just, I can't even put words to it, but I never knew exactly. I always had this vision of I'm meant to do big things. And I have gifts that I thank the Lord for every day that, he put me on this earth for a reason. And I knew group fitness would do something big for me, but I didn't know what it looked like, and I feel like I'm living it right now. I'm living the biggest moment in my life where I can touch the most people at one time. I mean, literally on a screen across the country in Ireland and Australia as well. I can't think of a bigger opportunity than what this has given me. And it's so I'm indebted forever. You know, I bought a franchise to open my own HOTWORX now. Like I am indebted to them because they've given me such a platform to do what I love. And it has paid me back in so many more ways that I could ever imagine, to be honest.
You're living it, girl. I love
Living
that. Well, and I can imagine just as an instructor, I know in 2020, I did a ton of, virtual workouts as we all were like, but I knew most of the people that were working out with me, like via Zoom, or you could see them as they were working out with you. With HOTWORX, you can't see the members.
True.
So you have to really come from a point of thinking who is in the sauna, kind of trying to anticipate, okay, how can I cue them in this isometric movement to advance it, to give them a modification, to think about, oh, they might be turning their hip a little bit right now, so I need to do that. And then it's so rewarding because you're not seeing them, but then you get to go meet them in person and you're like, okay, yes, and yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's that reassurance, like, okay, what I'm doing is working. So yeah, I get that every single day. Someone saying, down to just the silliest thing that I'll say, like hallelujah. And then people will be like, I latch onto that. And every time I feel like I'm just going to stop, I go, hallelujah. Or they'll just on your head, or they'll say crazy things that you've said like a year ago. And it's like, it resonates in them, or just a line, that like, I'm your tough love trainer, like just different things like it resonates. But yeah, teaching to a camera is different. It's definitely different. And I think experience is my best educator when it comes to that, because I've worked with so many demographics of people over the years, like 18 years I've been doing this now. I always think of like, okay, Susie over there, she's got a knee issue. And then Sammy Joe over here, she's going to tell me that she's had a rough day today and she's not in the headspace for it. So what I need to say to her to get her in, this person's brand new. So what do they need to hear? So yeah, teaching to a camera. Thank you, COVID, for setting us all up for this, but it's the only thing we can thank COVID for. Right. Instructor wise. But yeah, it even advances your skill set even more, than what you knew you could do before. So it's been such a journey in all ways, like fulfillment, but also just in making me the best instructor I feel like I've ever been.
Sure. And it's a beautiful thing where you're able to challenge yourself and challenge others at the same time. Exactly. For sure. Well, I personally have loved you as a virtual instructor. I love your hot yoga and hot cycle as well. Those are my two favorite, or hot warrior. Depends on the day, depends on the mood I'm in coming in,
I get that.
Oh, yes. But I'm actually in the top 40 this year for HOTWORX at running as a virtual instructor.
Congratulations.
So I am so pumped. And, as this episode is airing, folks, I will make sure there are links to go vote. We're raising money also for a very worthy cause as well, which I think is really, really exciting. And hopefully I'll be able to get to the in-person auditions and show them in person what I can do. And Ashlee, thank you. You've been a really great inspiration. I know for a lot of virtual, potential virtual instructors, me as a member of HOTWORX as well. And I hope people listening today really feel the passion that you have for fitness. And I hope they take that on, not just if they're a group fitness instructor, but anyone that is wanting to make movement as part of a habit they do every day for their self-care. I hope they feel inspired to do that today.
Think they will. This was great.
Yes. Well, Ashlee, where can everyone find you and connect with you? And what's next for you, girl? You said you bought a franchise. I
bought a franchise. I have a license, but I'm actually in the process of purchasing one also that's for sale here in my hometown. So I could have two in the next year.
Okay.
Craziness.
Might as well.
I know, might as well. And with that, I am not in the running for top 40 this year. So there'll be an announcement coming very soon of what my future with HOTWORX looks like with that. So that's all I can say for right now when it comes to that part. Yes. And then, I'm doing my own thing on the side here and there outside of HOTWORX. Like I'm leading a Bali retreat in August. So we do have, I think, 2 or 3 spots still open. If anyone wants to come hang out with me for 7 days in Bali, why not? But yeah, like that's me just hanging out with my boys during the summer. They're 10 and 7 and just doing the mom thing and the entrepreneur thing at the same time. That's really what's happening right now. So, and I've got my kitty back here that obviously likes attention too. So it's a fun time here. I'm in Oklahoma, but we make the most of it here.
Yes. I love it so much. Well, Ashlee, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today. And thank you for all that you've done for me as a member of HOTWORX and maybe a potential virtual instructor as well.
Thank you. I'm rooting for you, Emily.
Thanks, Ash. Ashlee, my girl, thank you so much for this conversation. Friends, when I do an interview, I always take some time and give myself some space after we've done the interview to re-listen to it so I can record my intro and outro. And I always feel like I listen to it again with a fresh perspective, open ears, open heart. And I loved listening back to this conversation with you, Ashlee. So thank you so very much. Now, let's talk about our biggest takeaways. 3 of them for you. I could have done more, but we limited it to 3 as we always do on Self-Transform. So let's talk about it. Number 1, why not you? Why not you? Ashlee said this a couple of times and it kept sticking out to me. I was re-listening to our interview. I was walking on the treadmill the other day and that just kept resonating to me. Like, why not you? Why not me? Right? A lot of times we just don't see our potential. We just don't see our potential. And I know as I was thinking about this, I realized a lot of times when I'm coaching classes, I'll say, let's crank it up a little bit more. Can you lift a little heavier? And I always say, why not? Why not? And a lot of times it's a matter of us stopping and asking ourselves, well, why not? Why not me, take a chance on this opportunity? Why not follow my gut? Why not, go try this Zumba class? Why not go try HOTWORX? Why not go try an Orange Theory class? Why not, put myself in an uncomfortable situation to make new friends, right? I feel like why not is such a big question you can ask yourself. Why not? Why not you? Why not me? Ask yourself, why not me? Even write it on a Post-it. Have it, on your laptop, on your car, in your bathroom mirror to remind yourself those self-limiting beliefs, we can push them away and just ask, well, why not? Why not you? Why not you? I love that so much. And going into that, we have these self-limiting beliefs sometimes that hold us back. And a lot of times we don't take a chance on ourselves, right? Trust me, submitting that application to become a HOTWORX virtual instructor, I had all the butterflies. I feel really confident in my abilities, but self-doubt will creep in no matter what, right? That is completely normal because we are humans. But when we lean in, adding that resistance, you're going to prove to yourself by the actions that you take that you can overcome those self-limiting beliefs. It all begins with a decision, right? Kind of like Ashlee mentioned, she wasn't looking for HOTWORX. She just kind of stumbled onto it in a point of her life where she was going through a season of transition, right? You have this gut feeling in your belly. I had that gut feeling to become a spin instructor back in 2016 over and over again. And if I would have never taken action, I probably wouldn't have my podcast. I wouldn't have my business. I wouldn't have the amazing clients that I just adore so much. Gosh, I adore you guys so much. If I just didn't make that one decision, right? If I didn't let my self-limiting beliefs or doubt hold me back. It's not to say I still don't have self-limiting beliefs or doubt, but a lot of times I am able to work out that self-limiting belief through my workouts, right? And that leads me into my last point I wanted to make. We really started talking about how movement can feel intrinsic over time, right? Maybe you have a workout routine, some habits you have in place in your life that you're going to go to HOTWORX no matter what, right? You're going to go for your daily walk no matter what. Love a walk, by the way. Love a daily walk. It's self-care. But getting started can be the hardest point, right? I started my transformation journey back in 2015. We're 8 years later. It's been a transition over time as seasons of my life have changed, as my kids have gotten older. Movement has looked a lot different for me. But I still do it in some shape or form because I know it makes me feel like the best version of myself. But how do you get to that point where you have this intrinsic motivation? It becomes a habit. Well, that's where a lot of our programming comes in through our mini courses, the accelerators, either movement, mindset, or food freedom, where we dig deeper into habit strategies to actually start making this work in your life. Because what is a habit? It is an unconscious behavior you don't have to think about anymore. And that could take from anywhere to 21 days for it to become a habit, up to 90 days for it to feel like a lifestyle. Okay. Give yourself time. You'll know you have these intrinsic habits and motivation that you already have in other areas of your life. If you need some help habit hacking to find that intrinsic motivation, having some strategy so over time, you don't even have to think about that movement anymore like I do. Not to say that I don't have to think about it. Some days I do. But most of the time I'm going to move because I know I feel so much better on the other side. Let me know. You can find all the links in the show notes to work with me there. But Ashlee, again, girl, thank you so much for this conversation. I'm so excited about the new opportunities coming your way in this next season of transition for you. I love that you're following your gut. You have been following the breadcrumbs all along the way. And my dear listener, I want you, there's some breadcrumbs that I know you're following as well. Open up, listen to your gut, kind of like I did after that. I believe I broke my tailbone for a reason over a year ago, and it was to find HOTWORX. It was God literally shoving me into a sauna to be like, okay, girl, here's your next step. You're going to become a virtual instructor. So I need your vote to get me to the next round. It's linked in the show notes or just bit.ly/HOTWORX. Emily, I made it super easy for you. So no big long link. And you can go cast your vote for me there. Support this amazing organization that I already mentioned to you. And my friend, I want you to be open to new opportunities, open to following your gut and following the breadcrumbs and how that can totally change your life and how just movement in itself can really open up your mind. You don't have to be a group fitness instructor, but I wholeheartedly believe movement, fitness, your workouts, all the above can really open up the door to new opportunities in your life if you are open to it. My friend, I hope to see you on the screens at HOTWORX as a virtual instructor. Ashlee, thank you so much again for this conversation. Friends, I have linked Ashlee's Instagram in the show notes. If you want to go give her a follow, I know she would appreciate it. She has a ton of great content on there as well for you, friends. Okay? All right, friends. Thank you again for listening, and I'll catch you this Thursday for Habit Hack Thursday. Hey girl, real quick before you go, did you know I have a secret podcast where I talk all about why most habit strategies don't work for us women? Spoiler alert, it's not our fault. Visit bit.ly/atomic habits for women. It's linked in the show notes to access my secret podcast series and have your biggest aha moment about why and how women have to do habits differently. And if you love the podcast, the number one way you can thank me is to leave a rating and review in iTunes. That way more mamas can find the show. Love and appreciate you, friend. We'll see you next time.